Now, you know me. I enjoy a salty crunch. I do. I enjoy a salty, crispy, crunchy snack. And what is better than chips? Chips. And I'm just talking chips in general. Now, for those of you who live across the pond, I am talking about crisps, not French fries. But for the rest of the world, I am talking about chips. Potato chips. You know, a good classic chip. Now, there are many flavors and there are many brands and there are many styles of chip. But this video is all about the concept. It's all about the genre, not one specific product. Does that make sense? And what is so great about chips is they're very versatile. Incredibly versatile. Many consume them as a snack. But they can also easily be an appetizer or even a side with your main. Everybody knows about eating chips with a sandwich. Truly a concept older than time. You have a turkey sandwich with potato chips. It's something that growing up with home lunch was almost a staple. Now, for me, I didn't grow up with home lunch, but everyone I knew who had home lunch, every time a sandwich was involved in said lunch, chips always followed. Now, what are my honest thoughts about chips? I think they're great. I do not eat chips very often. Very, very rarely. But I cannot deny that they are good. They are. Now, obviously, some are better than others, but for the most part, they are an adequate snack. They are an adequate side. They get the job done. I don't eat them very often, but I do enjoy them when I do eat them. Now, why don't I eat them often? You're going to find this very surprising. Some of you may not know this, but chips are terrible for you. They are. They're terrible for you. And I'm not talking like seed oils, but they do have seed oils. But if you don't care about seed oils, we're just looking at like the calories and like the nutrition. They're kind of like what I think they're called like empty foods, meaning they have a bunch of calories, but they have no sustenance to them. Zero. And I feel like a lot of the problem that people have is, when they're hungry, rather than eating, they just go into their kitchen and they see a bag of chips lying on the counter. That is not what they're intended for. Chips are not a meal. If you are hungry, you should not eat chips. Chips should be eaten if you are like kind of craving like a salty or like a crispy, like how I started this episode with a salty, crispy crunch. Come on, guys, get with this. It's not that hard. Salty, crispy crunch. Easy. So it's important to know when is appropriate to eat chips. Obviously, like everything else, they're not supposed to be eaten every day. But every once in a while, in moderation, they can be good. Very, very good. Unfortunately, many people do not understand what the word moderation means. Moderation, to many people, specifically I'm talking about Americans, is eating an entire bag of chips and then drinking a Diet Coke. And the two cancel each other out. Now, as much as I wish this was the case, I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is not the case. Diet Coke does not mean you are on a diet. Now, I know that this whole concept is a joke, like a societal joke, but I wouldn't be mentioning if it wasn't true. And I know that because I know people who, will order a pizza and eat the whole pizza, all 8 slices. And, then they decide to opt for a Diet Coke opposed to, a regular Coke or a Pepsi or a Dr. Pepper or anything else. Now, some people like Diet Coke, but for me, that's not what it's about. Diet Coke has 0 calories, so you're supposed to do it as you're already trying to mitigate your calories, not you're eating a 2,000 calorie pizza and then drinking Diet Coke. But this episode's not about Diet Coke. This episode's about chips. And chips are even worse than pizza because the convenience. You go into your pantry, you see a bag of chips, you open them up, all of the good ones are at the top, all the shitty crumbs and stuff are at the bottom. So you eat all the ones on the top, and then you get into this rat phase. This literal rat phase where you're eating the dust for the last third of the bag. Like an animal, like a rodent. So not only are you not eating a real food, you're eating bullshit food. But you truly are consuming that bullshit food like a rat. Like a rat. You're putting your little grubby fingers into the bag of chips and pinching. You're pinching clumps of crumbs and chip dust and just putting it in your mouth like how rodents eat. And then, 30 minutes, an hour later, you snap out of it and you realize you just ate, 2,000 calories of garbage. And you're now hungry again. Because that's the problem. You eat chips and you eat until you feel full. And then 30 minutes, an hour later, you feel hungry again. But you've already eaten, your recommended calorie intake for the day. This is how you gain weight, folks. It's just the little things. Eating chips like a rat will lead to weight gain. I mean, I think we can all see that. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Okay? Do you see chips as kind of this pure goodness that can do no wrong? Or do you see the pros and the cons like I do? Do you see chips as what they truly are? A very addictive, delicious drug. And drugs are fine. Drugs are fine. Don't let anyone tell you that drugs aren't fine. But moderation, folks. Moderation. Every once in a while, in small to medium doses. That is how you should consume chips. Thank you for listening, and I will see you tomorrow.